This shit can ruin people's fucking lives, is what I'm saying. The fact that our culture right now, we will just believe blindly what anyone says. We look at things with no scrutiny just because it's on the internet or in a paper or on a news story. Well, that doesn't make it true. This is a update. I guess we'll just call it an update. This is an update to a story that we talked about a few weeks back. And I wanted to update it because I did say some things in that I think needed to be addressed. I'm talking about Tiffany Haddish. and
I think you're talking about Bob's Burgers.
And Bob's Burgers.
Back to this one.
If those of you that remember, this, like I said, is an update. A few weeks back, there was a story about Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. They were involved in a lawsuit about child abuse. And I don't think it was child pornography, but it was, they made a short for Funny or Die, well, for themselves, and put it on Funny or Die, in which it was subsequently taken down, about pedophilia. It was supposed to be funny.
Yeah, because pedophilia is funny.
I'm just reading the story.
Yeah.
But no, it involved the filming of it involved two kids, and a girl and a boy, a brother and sister. And they were the children of a friend, a close personal friend of Haddish herself. And the kids said, go check that story out. It's from a few weeks ago. The kids ultimately said that they were abused. Not necessarily sexually. They were made to do sexual things, but not like they were simulating and things like that. They felt uncomfortable. They were told they had to do it if they want to make it in the business, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that anyone was specifically being sexual to them for, sexual reasons. They were doing it to make this thing. But still, that's not okay. That could traumatize some fucking kids. Apparently, the mother of these children has tried to lob a lawsuit for the past few years. This happened in 2018, I believe it was, or 17. And to no avail, she's not been able to. Now the daughter, being of age and apparently becoming a lawyer, has taken over, and she put forth this lawsuit towards Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. And she's not backing down, or wasn't backing down, because she was the lawyer now, so that she wouldn't go turn down her own case. Well, and what I said at the time was pretty much, this doesn't look good. If Haddish and Spears did this, that's fucked up, and they should get what they get. Now, it was a lawsuit, so it was just about money. That was concerning, because you would think criminal charges, you would think that they would want criminal charges to be raised, which maybe that would come later, I don't know. But yeah, I pretty much said if they did this shit, leave the kids alone. I feel pretty strongly about that. If you did it, fuck off. You go to hell. You get what you deserve. Well, apparently, Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears have been cleared. The lawsuit has been dropped by the girl who was one of the people involved in it. It was on behalf of her brother because apparently he got the brunt of it. Lawsuit against Spears and Haddish was dropped September 20th with Jane Doe, because they don't give the children's names. We don't know who they are. Filing a notice of dismissal with prejudice. She said, "My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us," Doe said. "We wish Tiffany the best and are glad that we can all put this behind us." Now, a little bit of other...
out of court.
What was that?
Looks like settled out of court.
Well, on that note, it does say that apparently in 2019, there was an out-of-court settlement from Haddish to the mother. So money has already transpired, or transferred hands. It's an undisclosed enough. It says, per initial reports, the plaintiff's mother negotiated a settlement in 2019, but that agreement allegedly does not bind Haddish or the siblings. The mother was a former friend of Haddish and also part of the Los Angeles comedy scene. We don't know who this mother is. Well, actually, I heard that the names are out there, but thanks to this article and others I've read, they aren't putting them out there, and neither would I. That's not cool. But so money has been transferred. Money's been paid, but they still lobbed this against them. I guess the question is this. Okay, this is good. Clears their names. They didn't do it. Is it that simple, though? Is this a situation where money was paid? Hush money. Shut the fuck up. Here's some money. Move on. Let it go. Because they were vehement about this. They were attacking on all fronts, talking about how shitty these people were and how they did all these. And the things that they were claiming were, I don't see how you could think that that was them having your best interest at heart. The things that they were claiming being done, like the girl, apparently more came out that she was having to simulate fellatio and all this. This is a 14-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy, by the way. Even though they're not making them do these acts, they're making them simulate them, taking their clothes off,
which is
baby oil.
Yeah, which is still illegal. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're simulating or not. You're doing a sex act. That's what it.
Yeah,
there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Against their will, they were protesting, saying, "I don't feel comfortable doing this." And according to them at the time, Haddish and Spears were telling them, "If you want to make it in this line of business, you got to learn to have tough skin and do this." Which is fucked up. These are kids. Stop fucking with kids. So, but now they've totally changed their tune and just dropping it and saying, "Oh, she'd never do anything to harm us." I don't know, man. It just, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were out for money, and now they realized, oh shit, this is getting really big. We're not going to win this. Just let it go. Some would say maybe they were paid off. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I can only take the story at face value and say, I guess since she's been found not guilty, or not found, but since it's been dropped, it is what it is. She didn't do anything. Or they. It's Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. Something about it just sits a little wrong with me, and I'm not trying to vilify these people, because if they didn't do it, then shame on the people that are saying that they did. They can fuck off. Because either way, like I said last time, whichever side is lying or telling the truth, it centers around the boy. He's the one who's bearing the brunt of this. He is the one who is going to be scarred by this situation. That either A, it did happen and he's scarred because of that, or B, his family is dragging him through this situation. Either way, this kid's going to be scarred by all this. So it's fucked up on whoever is in the wrong here. You're fucked up. But as far as like why this was settled, I mean, like I said, I can only take this report at face value and say that I guess they just decided for whatever reason that their claims now they've been trying for years. They finally get an audience, and now they're like, oh, never mind. It just, I don't lie, it sounds a little suspect, but who knows? Maybe it could be, like I said, that they just decided that, oh, we finally got it, and no, we can't do this. They're going to find us out. Who knows? What do you think, Nick? What's your initial thoughts on this?
Well, that's why they say innocent until proven guilty. So, I mean, I Hollywood's a fucked up world, to be fairly honest, and I have no idea if it's one of those things where, you know, you've heard a lot of horror stories and sometimes it doesn't turn out to be real, but you said this video was put up on Funny or Die and take it down, so obviously this happened. Which
it did,
make it
and
right.
I will say the things that were being done were, I haven't seen it, but from what I understand, it was all simulated, and it wasn't like, I didn't know about the fellatio thing, I just read that here, but it was mostly, what they focused on before was like the little boy was in his underwear, and like it was a guy like looking at him comedically through like eye holes in newspaper, and there was a part where he was rubbing baby oil on the little boy's back, and the little boy was doing it to him, I guess, and things like that, where they weren't like whipping stuff out and inserting or anything like that, I don't think. But it was making and if the kids were of a mind and of an age where they could understand, oh, this is comedy or whatever, it's still very bad taste, and I wouldn't have done it. But if they were on board and they were cool with it, and it wasn't damaging them, and we were putting the kids first and thinking, you know, let's think about their mental state, fine. But the kids were saying, according to the plaintiffs, last time we covered this story, that they were uncomfortable with this, and they on multiple occasions during this time were saying, I don't feel comfortable doing that, I don't want to do it, and they were more or less forced to. They were told, you have to. This is what you got to do. That's the part that really, I mean, it's fucked up either way, but taking this situation and forcing them to do it when they don't feel comfortable with it, that is where the hard line is. The other lines you could say, I feel like that's a line I wouldn't cross. Some people might cross, blah, 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 blah. That hard line right there is that they said no, and you pushed them to do it. That's where the abusive part comes in.
Yeah.
But
fucking Hollywood, man, I'm telling you.
They dropped the case, though. I just found it odd because, I mean, I don't know how much of this you remember when we talked about it a few weeks ago. They said a lot, man. They were like, no, this happened about. They were hardcore on it. And if that happened to my brother or sister, I would feel the way that she did. And I'm not saying this did or did not happen. Just like last time, I don't know. I wasn't there, and no court ruling has been made. No evidence, all that. It's just hearsay at this point. And that's all it will ever be, apparently. It's weird when somebody is being that hardcore about it, and then they just totally change directions. And nothing is given. It's just, oh no, she wouldn't do that. Then what? Were you fucking bullshitting? Somebody needs to call you on your shit and say you were just out for a paycheck. I don't know. It's just something's missing. There's a part of this puzzle missing. What made you change your mind just like that? That's the part that I'm like, it's either A, you got paid off, or B, you realized, oh shit, I'm finally getting traction here, and I can't back this shit up because I'm full of shit. So it's just weird to me, man. It's just weird. As a result of all this, I guess no shock, Tiffany Haddish has come forward and said, despite the child abuse lawsuit being dropped, which it was just dropped, against Tiffany Haddish and Spears, the Girls Trip star says she's straight out of work. All my gigs gone. Everything's gone. Haddish told TMZ, I don't have no job, bro. She apparently has some stuff coming up that's already shot and already in the can. But beyond that, she ain't got nothing. So she was more or less effectively canceled. And I get it. You were labeled, at least for a time, for lack of a better word, a pedophile. So studios didn't want nothing to do with you. You know? I get that.
I mean, look at the shit Johnny Depp went through. You know, it's just like he was not a pedophile, but he went through a lot of shit. So I mean, if you're a pedophile, you're not gonna get work. I'm telling you that much right now.
Yeah, there's no way to make that right. But yeah. I think that something else this illustrates. Now, like I said, we're just going to go with that she did not do these things, I guess. Man, there's something missing in that story, though. And I'm not saying that it makes her guilty. I'm just saying what made them change their minds like that. But either way, neither here nor there. We'll never know. Yeah. She's been vindicated. I'm sure she'll find work now. But as you can see, how damaging saying these things is out there in the world. That whole cancel culture thing that some people say, oh, it doesn't exist. It doesn't. It clearly does. I mean, she was not people. This was just allegations. Someone saying she did this, and she ain't got no work. And she was, she was doing very well. She was in a lot of things because it listed about 4 or 5 things that she has done. So she was working consistently. Now, nothing, because this thing popped up. This shit can ruin people's fucking lives, is what I'm saying. Now, I mean, if you did it, you deserve it. Or you deserve what you get. You made the choice. But the fact that our culture right now, we will just believe blindly what anyone says is insane to me. We look at things with no scrutiny just because it's on the internet or in a paper or on a news story. Well, that doesn't make it true.
To be fair, you and I kind of believe this when it happens. I mean, we did it too, so at least I did. I mean, like I said, if we're wrong, we're wrong. But it's like, it's a pretty fucked up thing. Like if these two people said this to get money out of Tiffany Haddish, then that's pretty fucked up. And
that's why I wanted to be sure I said that last time. Is that if this isn't true, then fuck the people that are saying it, because you're doing just as much damage. And you're right. When you read something like that, and this person's giving all these details about all this stuff, and you have a video, that was the thing that did it for me. There was a video out there that contained these things in it. So it's like, you made that. You made this thing that, whether the kids were on board or not, was in very bad taste. You made this thing, and now the kids are saying we weren't comfortable with it. That kind of did lend some credibility in my book. But, that's why I wanted to follow up today, is come forward and say, since she's been found, that no, these things didn't happen, regardless of what the reason is. That's what is being reported. So all I gotta say, I have to come forward and say I was wrong. I was wrong as far as like saying that, reporting that she did these things. But I did in that report also say that I don't know if she did it or not, or if they did it. They keep focusing on Tiffany Haddish, but apparently Ari Spears was the main one. She was just kind of there, but. I guess she's just the more popular name, but yeah, if they didn't do anything, which this report is saying that no, they didn't, they've been vindicated, that's fucked up. They need to, I mean, she has grounds at this point, I would think, since she's lost all this work, to sue them. To turn around and sue them and say, hey, I've lost work because of this shit you said that was bullshit, which is odd. We'll see. I mean, I guess if this catches enough traction, studios will let her back in. And yeah, I didn't feel like a lot of people were talking about this anyway, which is odd.
Right. You know how it is. Until it becomes like real, they won't talk about it. So,
yeah. But I guess there's not really a whole lot more to say about it. If you caught our last story or video concerning this, there it is. Apparently, she and Spears did not do this. But man, that just makes me wonder. Then why did you suddenly change your mind? And regardless of why they changed their mind, why'd you say that to begin with? And you was taking mofos to court, filing shit in court. Then you're lying. So there needs to be some repercussions there. Because either way, this kid's having to deal with this shit of his name and everything being drug around about how he was like molested, essentially, or abused. That fucks with kids, man. So if they didn't do it, then you're doing it. So you need to fuck off. I don't know. I feel strongly about these things. But hey, Tiffany Haddish, I'm sorry if you watched my video. I doubt you did. But if you watched it, or if anybody out there took what I had to say as gospel, I did try and preface it with I don't know. But apparently, she and Mr. Spears are innocent. So there it is.